Hello and welcome. My name is Greg Dawes, and today we're going to talk about the changes that have been made to rate modifiers in the release of our latest build, 9.4.101. Rate modifiers, which are defined in work schedule tables, are applied to resources to modify their direct rate. For example, a rate modifier can be used to account for things like overtime or hazard pay. In previous versions of ProPricer, only a single rate modifier could be applied to a resource. However, with the newest 9.4.101 build, you can apply multiple rate modifiers to a single resource, which is a powerful feature. Using it does require some setup in the algorithm and work schedule table, but once you get the hang of it, the feature can be very useful. So let's get into ProPricer and see how rate modifiers work. We'll first look at how you set up the algorithm to handle rate modifiers. First, you need to create rate modifier algorithm elements and set their type to rate modifier. You also need to create global resource fields for each rate modifier and populate them with value lists. Then you can link each rate modifier to its specific resource field. In this example, we have created 3 rate modifiers: shift premium, location/zone, and special pay. Each element has been set to the rate modifier type here, and you can also see that each one is associated with a specific resource field. Then, in the formula section of the algorithm, we added each of the rate modifiers to direct cost to give us a new direct cost total, which we called direct cost with differentials. Next, you need to create a work schedule table where you attach an accounting calendar and then define how the rate modifiers will calculate. In this work schedule table, let's look at the exempt accounting calendar. In the middle grid, we'll select the Rate Modifiers tab, and you can see where rate modifiers can be added to the work schedule. Again, these available rate modifiers come from those algorithm elements we saw earlier that have the rate modifier type. The action column defines the default operation for the rate modifier, but that can be changed in the bottom grid. As you can see, the location/zone, shift premium, and special pay rate modifiers are currently set to multiply. In the bottom grid, the elements in the name column come from the value list for the global resource fields. So we select an item from the value list, set the action to either multiply or add, and then specify the value. For multiply, the value needs to be expressed in percentage form. So let's say for overtime, we want to add an additional 50% of the direct rate. In that case, the value should be 0.50. For add, the value needs to be expressed as the number of dollars that we want added to the direct rate for the resource selected. Okay, now let's see how rate modifiers are used on a proposal. I've opened my proposal in Task View and selected Task 009. Let's add the Logistics Manager resource to this task and spread 500 hours. In the Resource Summary grid, you can see that right now the direct cost and direct cost with differentials are the same. Moving up to the middle grid, let's select the drop-down for shift and choose overtime. Notice in the bottom grid that there is now an additional cost added for the shift premium rate modifier. Also, the direct cost and direct cost with differentials columns are now different because the direct cost with differentials now includes those shift premium dollars. Now I'll select values for the location/zone and special pay rate modifiers. For location/zone, I'll select zone 03, and for special pay, I'll choose hazard pay. Again, in the bottom grid, the direct cost with differentials element now includes the extra costs for the shift premium, location zone, and special pay rate modifiers. So, to summarize, while the ability to add a rate modifier to a resource is not new, the ability to add multiple rate modifiers to a given resource is new. Doing this requires some setup in the algorithm and work schedule table, but it is a powerful new feature that lets you account for things such as overtime, hazard pay, different rates for different locations, or any other situation where you would need to adjust the rate for a resource. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please share it with your colleagues who use ProPricer. If you have any questions about ProPricer, please email us directly. Again, my name is Greg Dawes, and as always, thanks for watching.